Hey, this is 8 Pete Reviews here again today. We're going to be looking at a dash cam this time. This is the F1S model from BlackBox. Just showing you get in the car, pop it in the mount, and put it in the power. And I will right off the bat just show you the only complaint I have about this thing, and it really is a matter of personal preference. Here I've got the GPS cable, and you can see that it is very long. I've seen mounts before that have the GPS antenna right up on the suction mount, so you don't have to worry about running this cable. What you would have to do is take it and run it through the trim pieces around and figure out where you want to mount it on the windshield or your dash. Again, personal preference, but I'd like to just not have to deal with it. When you open the package, you're going to find, of course, the camera. You're going to get the suction mount. You'll find a mini USB charger. This uses a mini USB plug. Dates it a little, but I mean, you'll be able to find them anywhere. You'll find a mini USB, just regular cable for plugging into a computer, and then you'll get your GPS. Now, that GPS isn't required to be used with this, but it allows for some interesting functionality later if you want to. And when you do open the package, the first thing you're going to notice when you hold the camera is that it's very well made. It's sturdy because it's got an aluminum body to it. It makes it a little heavier, but you know, once you put this in your car, you're not going to be holding it anyways. So you don't really care how much it weighs. I like to see things like this made out of metal because in a car you never know what's going to happen. Something could bump it. You could go over a large bump. If it falls to the dash and on the floor rolls around, you want it to be able to take that beating, and this definitely will do that. Your buttons are pretty simple. On your right side you've got your power button, which you hold to turn on and off, and you have an up and down for selecting things in the menu. On the left side you've got your mode button for switching between your video mode. You can take pictures with this, still images, and then you have your viewing mode. And you've got OK for selecting things in the menu, and you then also have your menu button to get into it. Now while we're speaking of that menu, I feel like it could be a little easier to use, but again, it's something that you use once, you pick the settings you want, and you'll probably never be in there again. Because you mount it in your car, it records when you turn the car on, turns off when you turn the car off. You never have to worry about it. Now the only caveat to that auto on-off part is that you have to have a car that disables the power when it turns off. If you don't have that, then you're going to have to be cutting the power yourself. Otherwise it'll just stay running. Now for accessories, you get that charging cable I told you of, the mini USB, and it's very, very long, which is what you want because you don't want this to be hanging out. It's something you're going to pop up into the trim in the top of your car and run down the side pillar and then to either an outlet or, you know, chop off the end and wire it right into the car. And you also have that GPS cable, which, like I said, I'd prefer it to not be very long, but you do the same thing with that, and then you can choose where you want to mount it. And then your last port that you have is an HDMI port. This is going to be a mini HDMI, so you're going to have a special cable with mini HDMI on one side and then the full size on the other. And that means you won't have to have a computer to view this footage with other people. You can just plug it right into your TV. As I said earlier, this is a set and forget sort of thing. It means you don't have to worry about when it's recording. It just always is as long as your car is running. And what it'll do is it'll keep overwriting the oldest footage as it goes, so it'll never stop and fill up. And what you can do is if you want to save the footage that you just captured, for instance, say you get in an accident, you definitely want to have that. You can press the OK button and it will lock that footage so it won't be overwritten even as it continues running. Now, some other functionality I really like of this is that large screen. You know, it's great for viewing, but if you're driving at night, you don't want to have that bright thing distracting you and messing with your night vision the whole time. So this one, it turns off after a few seconds. It'll stay recording. All you have to do is hit the OK button and it'll bring it back up. So once you do have the video that you want, you can either take the camera out, which, you know, that's a little extra work, or pull the card and put that into your computer, take the footage off of it, and then you can watch it there. And once you have it on your computer, I would recommend getting a piece of software called Registrator Viewer. And what that allows you to do, and you can get this on Google, through Google, just do a search there and it'll take you to the site. What you can do is feed your video files into it, and they have location information embedded in them. And that program's able to extract that information, and it can show you on a map, and you can choose which map source you want to use, different ones including Google Maps or some third-party ones. You can show your location on the map as you're viewing the video. So as your car is driving down the road, you see where you were driving. There's a lot of buttons in the software, but if you just do File, open your video, and then play it, it's pretty self-explanatory at that point. You've got a pause and a stop button, and it even show your speed on the software. Now you will notice when you're viewing your speed that on screen it's got the right number for miles per hour, but it says kilometers per hour. That's just a minor thing, but seems like an odd thing to overlook. And then last but most important probably is video quality. It's very, very detailed. Lighting isn't an issue when it's dark. You still see things when it's bright. Everything's got good color, great brightness, contrast. This camera overall is something that I'm very impressed with, and I've already recommended to other people, so I think you should try it.